Thank you so much, Mrs. Draper, for allowing me to interview you today.
It's basically how we act or behave online. Just everything we do online is the kind of citizen we are online, as opposed to everything we do in real life tells us what kind of citizen we are in real life. A lot of digital citizenship really needs to start at home, but K through 12 teachers could probably just kind of teach children about, first of all, not believing everything they see or hear online, but also just teach, it's just a different kind of manners. You know, we try to teach our children manners, and this is just a whole new kind of manners that's a part of our world that didn't used to be. You know, there's manners about how you use your phone in public, and there's manners about how you talk online and being truthful online. Being online, it's easy to not be truthful. And so we need to teach our kids to be truthful online. One thing that I've always been very aware of is that anything that I put online is could be there forever for anybody to see. And so I try to be very careful what I say online, because 10 years from now, I may not want somebody to read that. I may not want a future employer to see that. So I try to be very careful what I say online, just like I'm careful about what I say in real life. I think there's this whole other aspect too of people sharing information that isn't true. They read something, they just automatically believe it because it's online, and they start sharing it. To me, it's kind of gotten to the point today where you can't really believe, you don't know what to believe and what not to believe. So that's really difficult, and you have to be super careful. But you need to explore ideas. You need to research things that you read to see if they're actually true before you share them. That's kind of a big deal, because it's actually really irritating when you read stuff online and it's either not true or it's really old information that doesn't really apply anymore. I've seen a lot of that on Facebook, where people just share things, even things such as missing children. People are sharing these missing children, and if you look closely, sometimes the information is 3 or 4 years old, and they're not missing anymore. They were found days later. They may still be missing, we don't know, but we just need to be a lot more careful. And I think that it's for teachers, it's basically going to be the idea of teaching this information, teaching manners in a digital world. And it just really boils down to that, you know. It's kind of a new subject area for teachers. You know, teach kids that if they're being bullied, teach them to tell someone, which is the same thing in real life. If kids are being bullied, we try to tell them, tell someone that you trust. You know, if you're being hurt in some way, if you're being abused, tell someone you trust. It's the same thing online. We have to teach kids that even when it's online, tell someone. But we also need to teach them that they have the power to stop it. They have the power to block these people. They have the power to unfriend them. They have the power to remove them, at least from what they're seeing. Now, that doesn't mean it may not be still said or done, but they have the power to not have to see it. And when they don't see it and they're not responding to it, bullies are going to quit because it's not fun anymore. And so we just have to teach kids, first of all, to tell, and second of all, how to respond to it. And I think for some reason, kids don't seem to know how to respond to it because they just continue to keep that person where they're seeing everything that's said, and they just continue to let that come in to their space, and we need to teach them how to get it out of their space and just how to respond to it. Misconception would be that if it's online, it's true. I know people who post anything and everything, and I look at it, I read it, and I think this is not true. So I look it up, and sure enough, it's either not true or it's really old information that doesn't apply anymore. And maybe another misconception would be that online you can do and say anything you want because it's not face to face, and maybe there's nothing people can do about it because it's online. But I think the misconception is in that people can actually find you. They can, people can find you through the internet. They can find your phone number. They can find your address. They can find so much personal information. It's just out there. And there are people who know how to find it. So you do need to be careful. And more, people are going to job interviews and they're not getting the job because their employer looks them up on Facebook and realizes this isn't the kind of person they want working for them. Things that you put online, period, things you put online can come back to haunt you when you start looking for a job or when you start, wanting something in the real world, maybe even when you apply for a loan at a bank to buy a new house or a car. Things that you put online can come back to haunt you. It's not a place where you can just put whatever you want. I know of some people who did not get a job because we looked them up on Facebook and we didn't like what we saw.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, Mrs. Draper. And
You're welcome.
great help. And you have a great day, okay?
Okay, thanks. You too.
Bye.
Bye.